to the Venus Retrograde in Aries live stream. Today, I'm going to be diving into one of the most known planets in astrology, yet also one of the most misunderstood planets in astrology. A lot of people akin Venus to just love and relationship and the kindling of two flames within people and that coming together, but it's way more than that. Now, I do have a Venus masterclass as well. So if you have never seen my Venus masterclass or any of my masterclasses here on YouTube, make sure that you go ahead and check out whatever you're interested in, because I do give a crap ton of information and I try to keep y'all entertained as best as I can. But regardless of the fact, just happy to be here to start explaining to y'all what's going on in terms of these energetics. So in general, now this is a variable, right? But Venus retrograde, correction, is for 40 days and 40 nights. By the time you're seeing this stream, if you're watching it live, it's happening in 5 hours. If you're watching it after that, trust and believe it's already going on, right? So the idea behind these 40 days and 40 nights has been seen throughout a lot of cultures. There's a very strong significance in terms of like that 40 interval in terms of a lot of things. I can name a few in just a second, in which I think Venus retrogrades were actually happening canonically, so to speak, right? Was good, Quintana and Heather, Ellen. Okay, we got a good cast and crew for today, you know what I'm saying? So it's a pleasure to be able to hop in and talk to y'all today and break everything down. I don't think this is going to be a super long stream, but I am also myself, so I'll be yapping. But let me make sure that I give everybody the let's see real quick. Wow. There we go. Okay, cool. So for anybody who wants to get a Venus retrograde mini reading at the end of this is the mini reading queue that's going to be for that. This is going to be a really freaking important 40 days and 40 nights. I'm not going to lie. What is the significance again? You might have heard again that thing, right? Every time I think of it now, I think of the more modern Travis Scott being like 40 days, 40 nights. Feel like a holy night. I'm like, that's really how it is, right? But excuse the non-auto tune for that. But what I can say, right, is that there's a lot of like biblical symbolism that talks about deep spiritual initiation with that. And I believe if we look at this from an astrological level, those were Venus retrogrades. I'm going to name the first one. You might have heard of it. Have you ever heard of Noah's flood before? Have you ever heard of the flood? Where allegedly, in terms of this story, the world was flooded. Noah took every animal 2 by 2, went on with his few sons that want to repopulate the earth in terms of all the cultures that we have today. And they had that journey for 40 days and 40 nights. So before that journey, Noah was informed by the flood by the Lord, right? He was informed, build this flood. But the flood itself that washed away everything else was 40 days and 40 nights. And after that 40 days and 40 nights was up, everything kept going as regular, right? So I want you to keep that story in mind. Now, the next one that ended up popping up in my mind when I thought about it, right? The next one was when Moses actually received the 10 Commandments. Ever heard of that? Ever broke one before? No, but the idea though, right? In terms of those 10 Commandments that we even talk about, right? When Moses went to receive that information, when he went to go really channel and meditate and pray on all of that information from the Lord at the time, so they say, with the burning bush and all that, that was a 40-day, 40-night cycle. And when he was done, he came back down and told what he had found, right? So that's something to also pay attention to. And the last one that you may have also heard of, potentially, right, was Jesus's temptation when he was in the desert, right? So he was trying to fast for 40 days. And he was trying to fast for 40 days and 40 nights. Does that sound familiar to y'all by any means? When Venus goes retrograde, it's really an inner journey within. And if you read my newsletter, I really try to stick it to the idea of the inner goddess being awoken. And to give a better idea for that for people who just want to understand what's going on, there's a deep need to go within, readdress what's going on in terms of what's coming up, and really sit in the power of how you feel. So here's one of my biggest recommendations of Venus retrograde, right? If you do this, you know how they talk about Lent? No, you got to give something up for Lent. No, give something up for a little bit. If you're able to like really kind of gear something or add something on, like, I think people are so, when people fear monger retrogrades, it's kind of stupid. And it's stupid only because like people only kind of react to things that sound bad at first, right? It's like, did you know that everything's going to go haywire in terms of your relationships and your exes are coming back? Well, yeah, of course, all that's still happening, sure. But this is where the power of what's happening really comes through. Let's talk about the Jesus part one more time, because we all know Big Homie G, and we can talk about him real quick. Big Homie J from that one. You get the point. The idea though, right? Lent is also 40 days too. What you think that's based off of? We still have it. It's just not in the same times that they honor it. All of these things still exist. That's why my favorite part about being an astrologer. Like, all these things still exist. They've been existing. They've been existing since who even knows, right? But again, when Jesus was going through the desert, he was tempted to eat. He got shown oases. That was the biggest thing. When he was like in that circumstance, he got shown oases of like, here's all the food, you know what I'm saying? And if you look at it canonically, homie loved his brothels. He was like, hey, here's these lovely ladies, right? And if you also look at the canonically, he loved the homies. Hey, here's all your boys over there. They turning up with the wine that you made. It's like, oh shoot. And then him staying the course of that and quote unquote defeating the temptation gave him a very stronger resolve. And the biggest thing about Venus retrogrades is that it teaches you where your resolve truly is. Have you been doing things for everyone else? What have you been doing for you? How do you want to redefine what that looks like? And how do you want people to show up and give you your respects, right? As I was thinking about Venus retrograde, I of course have to go through my own thinking and understanding of what's going on, right? And I kind of realized something as I was having this reflection, so to speak, right? And it's like, I'm a budding master astrologer. Like, that's something that I don't have any qualms about. That's something that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a budding master astrologer. And I sometimes get really caught up in some of the more technical aspects of the things that I have to do, right? And part of why I get so caught up in the technical aspects of these things is because, like, I know that at the time especially, I've always had to do everything that you've seen in terms of like what I produce from day one to now has always been me doing it myself. And like, I know sometimes people are like, oh, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, or like, oh, like, nah, I want to work with people, right? But that was one of those situations that first began. And so in this, like, me being so isolated and trying to build it myself, there's a certain point where you can also get lost in your own sauce, right? And I'm not gonna deny that portion, or not even necessarily lost in your own sauce, although that is a thing. I think for me particularly, I was just lost in the idea that like I wasn't great at the things I wasn't good at yet, but I kept neglecting the part of like, oh no, I'm the astrologer here for a reason. And I think that I didn't realize how much other people honored my astrology work within the last 6 years, because I've been going so hard about just trying to push it out there and knowing that I'm not the common face that people see with astrology, knowing not everyone's going to even believe in astrology. Not everyone's spiritual. Not everyone's going to see what I'm seeing. And so I had that realization to where it's like, oh no, like even in the different places that I work for and work with, right? You might have seen me on Instagram. I post with Keen Psychics, post with astrology.com. I work with Deborah. There's a bunch of different stuff that I do. But at the end of the day, I had to stop and realize, I'm like, oh, that's because like, that's me. Like I am the cause of being able to change that. So I wanted to bring this up to you because as an Aries rising, that was my thought when I was thinking about Venus retrograde in Aries. So I want to reflect this back to you. I want to reflect this further. What have you been sleeping on yourself about? I hear myself again. What have you been sleeping on yourself about though? Like what's something that like you're so good at that you ignore? Like what's something that's so integral to you that when somebody else mentions it, you're almost like surprised. You're like, oh shoot, really? Like I hadn't thought about that. Venus retrograde in Aries wants you to honor those things, right? As much as we talk about Venus being a planet of love and war and everything else, Venus has started multiple wars, right? let's start that there. Venus also used to cheat on her husband at any given time with Aries or Mars, whatever way you want to put it, right? Because Mars was slanging and Mars was slaying. And so she was like, I'm pulling up to that, right? That's how if you ever see like someone who's really strong Martian and really strong Venusian, and they just have this like pull towards each other, or maybe they always go back and forth. That's that type of relationship that's kind of being shown, right? And Venus also, sometimes you should just be hating, to be honest. All of the ancient stories, like these deities aren't particularly of the same morality of human beings. When Venus was scorned, she scorned back, right? Now when Venus was loved, she gave all the love in the world. When Venus was adored, she ended up like praising and giving everybody all that they wanted to. They made them more beautiful. But as soon as somebody else was like, I'm prettier than you, Venus was like, we putting a stop to that, right? It was like, we're not doing that. And that's what Venus and Aries reminds me about. Is that it's like, it's really about this container of like loving yourself. And I'm gonna be so honest with you, for the next 40 days, you want to see if you love yourself or not. And I don't want to say this in a negative way, but I present this as a challenge as best as possible, because like, again, I think when you lean into retrogrades without fear and with just the understanding that's part of your process, you can exit out of retrogrades and genuinely like level up yourself as a person. I've seen it happen. I've helped people do it. I've done it myself. I practice these things myself as best as I can. Am I perfect at everything? No. But as you can see, I'm damn shit close. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, in terms of Venus as well, there is this need to change for aesthetic. There is this need, like your style is going to start changing a bit, right? You might start being attracted to things that you didn't initially think that you were like attracted to. Or on the other end of that, maybe that thing that you thought was like a little bit there, you're diving fully into that, right? And you pointed at something out so beautifully, right? Our biggest challenge is to love ourselves first. And I can tell you right now, without a doubt in my heart, like if it wasn't for astrology, I don't think I would love myself like the way that I do. I don't think I would have had a mirror strong enough to get me through the amount of things I was having to deal with, or but like I had a very specific type of like coming up. And I think without astrology being able to reflect back to me some of those things and instances and how I impacted the world, even by just showing up, I don't think I would be in the same headspace. I don't think I would love myself as much. I think I might be chasing love from other places, right? Versus like the love and the understanding that the universe always does have your back, right? And the fact that like every time you do reach out for community genuinely from your heart, community finds you, or you create it yourself, Part of why I'm able to do this is because I've seen other people do it, right? I sat in the things, I watched other astrologers who I looked up to do this kind of thing. And one thing that I noticed across the board, at least with like people who do this work that I adore, is that they always are just real about where they're coming from. And so I strive, not just as an artist, not just as an astrologer, to like reflect those parts back to you. Because a lot of people think they're inspired by me. It's like, no, I remind you of the inspiration that exists within you. That's my fire. My fire is to remind you that there's a fire there. Now the fire, sometimes for some people, they're like, man, I really don't like that guy. It's like, you want to know what? You can hate me. I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. It's okay. It's okay. You can be beautiful too. All you got to do is love yourself. Know your astrology. To know thyself is to be of power. Venus in Aries is the I am principle. It was the most powerful thing that you can say. Period. Like I want to play this out like the most powerful thing that you can say. Period. When you claim what you are, when you claim where you're coming from, it's a very different vibe. It's a very different energy. You know what I'm saying? The other thing that I would get reminded about when I think about Venus retrograde in Aries, I actually think every time I think about Venus and Aries in general, I think about Lilith. That's first. But the other thing I think about is Rihanna. But that's because I love Rihanna. I do love Rihanna. To keep it a stack, we have the same lips. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, but shout out Robin, for real. Hit me with the fancy package one day. Let me be your astrologer. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? What's good, Rakim? How you living? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but the reason why I'm talking about this in the begin with, and it's not for a pop celebrity reason at all, right? But we relate to music. We all feel it. When it gets to, let's say, Rihanna's whole career stage was like, so at first she was like this island girl. And then she was like, I'm bad girl Riri. Sorry, okay. Then afterward, right? And then afterward, like she just kind of like really got back into her power. And one thing that I noticed is that there was definitely this era where even like the top female celebrities, and granted, however you might feel about this, we're just taking the principle. You take it for what you know. Just now, as game is game. But what I can say, right, is that Beyonce started doing something similar, where Beyonce was like, I am channeling Sasha Fierce. It's not just me. It's a different thing, right? There was Nicki Minaj. She had Roman. And Roman was like the raw part of this, right? And I want to point out Venus retrograde in Aries because, like, to keep it a stack, the divine feminine is pissed off. And to be so real, y'all have all rights to be. As an energetic, y'all have all rights to be. Why? Because the divine feminine is most connected to Mother Nature. It's most connected to nature as itself, the moon, everything that we really delve in and appreciate in terms of like feeling and receiving is part of that divine feminine nature. The divine masculine is also trying to fight back. However, there's a need for them to also tap into their masculine deeper. So where I think for a long time, quote unquote, and I'm using this as a general thing because I know people relate to it well. I would like to use different terminology, but I'm just going to use what we know. Because like in terms of the overarching receptivity of the world right now, there's a lot of pain that's happening. There's a lot of pain in this world. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Look at all the pain in the world and then look at what's happening in your day-to-day. If you're too caught up in what's going on in the world that you can't take care of your day-to-day, that's where Venus retrograde eats you alive. I'm just going to be honest with you. Because the rumor mill, the hoopla, people talking about this and that, blah, 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 all of that is going to circulate. People are going to be more aggressive about their ideas. People are going to be more aggressive about what they like. So when you see aggression and you don't like what's going on, do you immediately respond with aggression? Because that's what Venus retrograde in Aries wants to force people to do. Venus retrograde in Aries wants you to like crash out by accident at all points. And that's where the need to know where you're coming from, who you are, how you feel becomes so important. That's why a homeboy walked in the desert for 40 days and ignored everything else, right? That's why bro went to the top of a mountain to sit there for 40 nights in order for him to finally channel down what he needed in order to tell the people, right? Where the floods came through and knocked everything down. And then the world got rebuilt, right? Venus retrograde in Aries are trying to show you like, yo, on an energetic level, this is the flooding out of those who refuse their authenticity, because the most important vibration is authenticity, especially as we keep digging deeper into this age of Aquarius. Right? Like if there's certain things that AI can completely just do and take over that doesn't require human input. So what does require human input? What does require that truth? What does require that other parts of that, right? And I'm not trying to villainize anything. I use it. It's important. It's important to utilize all the tools that we have in store. And it's important to, most importantly, know yourself. But when you rely on tools too heavily, that's not good, right? As much as I love astrology, I can't look at my transits every single day to start off my day every single day. But you want to know what I do? I recognize my birth chart. I recognize myself. And that's why I really emphasize, like, if y'all don't get a birth chart reading from me, you're dumb. No, I'm joking. I mean it. No, I'm saying I'm joking myself. But realistically, if you don't get a birth chart reading, like either from me, like get it from someone that you resonate to, because like just the knowledge of how the motifs that you like go about changes the way that you exist, changes the way that you learn how to survive and thrive. It changes the way that you know how to get busy with it. You know what I'm saying? It changes a lot of stuff though. Like just if you know this, knowledge is power. Knowledge of self is key. That's one of the most important things in every esoteric book that has ever existed. Know yourself, know your worth. Okay, cool. I've been yapping a lot. How y'all doing? I wanted to come in strong, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to make sure to get the real parts of Venus retrograde going. Appreciate y'all for sitting through, rocking with me, showing love. You know the vibes. So let me switch this over real quick because I'm going to show y'all, if y'all haven't gotten a mini reading yet and you haven't joined the queue, here's how you do so. So this is the internet, and on the internet we have this Venus retrograde mini reading right here. I have the link to it above too. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying my best to get more description-y stuff in there. And if y'all really want to do some support work, oh, what's good, Tamiri? How you living? I'm gonna have to X you out for this one though. Sorry, love. Okay, boom, boom. But here's a real thing that's kind of cool, right? Hey, guess what? Guess what? Bow. This is my first official astrology.com horoscope article news thing. And I was hype about it. You know what I'm saying? I've been working with them for a little bit. Despite me being a writer and someone who's been a poet and has made thousands of songs, my brain, again, when you're so good at something or you do something so often, you forget about it, right? My brain was like, oh, shoot. Why are they asking me to write? And I'm like, oh, I have a newsletter. I write all the time. I'm like, oh, I write captions all the time. Oh, I write every single day. Like literally that's what I do, right? And so I mention these things that are so funny because you might look at me and be like, no crap, Chad. What is wrong with you? Mav, what's going on with yo, what's wrong with you? Yeah, what's wrong with you? I know what's wrong with me. I know my chart. What's wrong with you? Let me stop. But yes, that is the thing that has just happened. Been really excited about that. It was a little bit more on a let's make sure the collective as everybody, you know what I'm saying? Even if your mama pick it up, she'd be able to understand what's going on type deal. Whereas my newsletter is clearly very niche. I try to make it more extra. I really want to just tug at people's heartstrings as we're reading it, to be honest, because like there's such a poetic nature to astrology to me, and like I think that's why I also enjoy it genuinely. And you know what's funny? As I'm talking about this, I'm like, that's why I love astrology. There's like a poetic nature because, like, you know, I'm gonna get personal. Let's get personal real quick. Why not? Why not? Why not? We're already here. It's been 6 years. I did a cool thing. 6 years ago, I said I'm an astrologer. 6 years later, astrology.com said, "Can you please write this?" And I said, "Oh my God, we out here." Beautiful thing. Black boy joy. We out here. But let's get a little personal for like a hot second. You know what I'm saying? And not a lot of people know this. I don't think. I mean, like if you know me, you know this. But if you don't know me personally, you don't know this. But like when I was growing up, I was really curious about why we were all here. Like I was like, why are we here? You know what I mean? I was looking at stuff and I'm like, yo, there's war in the world, there's suffering, there's famine, there's this. Like I'm gonna be so honest with you. By the time I can first understand by the time I could first understand like TV and like know what was happening on TV and be like, oh, that's a thing, like, oh, that's a whatever. Like I swear to y'all, I was like, I have a different upbringing. But I'm like growing up, I'm watching stuff, and I'm like, by the time I'm like 3 or 4 years old, I swear to you, I'm watching Roots. Like they look, they were like, here's every civil rights terrible thing that has ever happened. Here's what we go through. And I was like, oh my God. And so like for me, I was like, yo, and this is like a real part of things. For me, I was like, why why am I continuing to like fully try to praise like a specific religion or a specific thing? And I was really into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, like I feel like there's something greater. And like, and then I was like, yo, when I'm reading the book, and this is why like I sometimes hit random Bible verses or random stories from there and stuff like that. Cause like I read it all the way through. I'm one of the few people who's like, I genuinely read it through. It's been a hot minute, so don't get me wrong, but I definitely read it through because I was like, what is this, right? And I realized at a certain point, I was like, yo, they said in the Bible that they don't even like black people for real. I'm paraphrasing a lot. I'm just like, they said that in the Bible, they don't even like black people for real. Then I was like, man, and I'm thinking about it to myself, and I'm like, yo, like that for me, like I was like, what the, like here I am trying to put all this energy, do all these like good energies, and I was like, what's going on with that? And so I personally, and this is I'm paraphrasing a lot again, was like, yo, how do I make a contribution? Like I know that there's something more in the world than just this thing. Like I know that there's this universal thing that's moving us forward. Like how does like God speak to us? How does God speak to us? How can we interpret these larger things that people keep telling you? Like, and I grew up in a situation where it's like, you know, some people would just say like, pray on it, wish for it, think this, ask for this, ask for that. And I continue to watch these people suffer. I continue to watch these people deal with this shit. And I understood the process of like, quote unquote, like praying without ceasing. And this is, again, we're getting real personal here because like, this is the thing, but at the same time, it didn't make sense, right? They took the magic out of everything else. And for me, I remember like, I kind of stepped away from trying to be at church, and I got kicked out of Sunday school for asking too many real questions, right? But at a certain point, it's like all my homies have, to be fair. So it is what it is. Which is a funny quinky dink. But to be so fair, and the reason why I'm even like mentioning these happenings is because like I knew I was like, yo, like I need to. I want to be like I want to help convey messages. I want to help convey the stuff that's too complicated, right? Like I always had a heart to help, to be of assistance. I knew that I was something of importance to somebody somewhere, and I wanted to just find where that was and honor that. And I'm glad that this is a part of it. Y'all are really cool. But the reason why I am explaining this is like I was like, yo, how do I understand like the you better, the universe better, like the Lord better? It was really like a real religious, like agnostic, like what is this? You know what I'm saying? And I remember ending my night staring at the stars. Like I ended my entire night, like that day I was freaking out about it. I remember my entire night I ended up like staring at the stars. Like I'm out at like 2, 3 in the morning, just just looking. And I want to say I had a cliche, like I saw a shooting star or something, but I don't even know if that's what happened. I just genuinely was like, there's something more. There's something out there. There's something else. Some odd several 15 years later, here we are. But the reason why this is such a important part to this story is because like I was told what I was supposed to uphold. I was shown what was supposed to be there, but it didn't ever fully feel right to me. And it wasn't until I started trusting my feeling beyond what I was being yapped to at is when things started to change. And that's something that I really try to highlight in my work, because the whole world will try to be against you and tell you these are the ways that you have to succeed. You know what I mean? But whenever I see something extraordinary or someone extraordinary achieve something, it's because it was truly from the core of themselves. And guess who was teaching that more than anything else? The dude that was walking 40 days or 40 nights through that thing. You know what I'm saying? I always use Christ consciousness as an ideology, because at the end of the day, that's magic. Like the magic, the people, the love, the understanding that's happening in the different vibrations. That's what Venus Retrograde wants you to do. This is your initiation into what you want to make happen into the world. I'm giving you a part of my story and a part of my journey to a very obvious, thing that I do. But it's deeper than that, right? Because you want to know what also happens during Venus retrograde in Aries? Exes come back. You used to be insecure. You used to go through all these things. How much more can you endure? Yeah. Anyway, but like the idea of like this thing, right, is that Venus retrograde really does it as I would say, they're running the block and they want that old thing back. Okay, the reason why I'm saying it this way is because Venus retrograde kind of like reminds you of other times of the heart. Now, this is a good thing in some cases, right? Maybe you're getting the closure you need. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's Venus retrograde in Aries. So they're probably not trying to come back to just be cool and hang out and grab a snow cone. They're probably coming back on something like a little bit different. Nope, he won't come back. That's okay, but you'll be thinking about it. And this is where I want to kind of point out with this Venus retrograde thing, to where it's like, maybe you're not even necessarily like, maybe the ex isn't coming back for real. Maybe they're not like in your life or something. But maybe you have to sit there for a couple of days and you're like, oh shoot, this was an impactful time in my life, and really have to sit with it. You get what I mean? That's what happens with Venus retrograde. It's like, oh, what did I used to love? That circles back as well. You know what I'm saying? Love this. I can relate so much to this. I appreciate it. And in Venus return, happy Venus return, Christina. You know what I'm saying? I know you're gonna be having to talk that crap at work and doing your thing, Christina. You already knew that though. You know what I'm saying? So like Venus retrograde gonna have you active. You feel me? But yeah, for sure. Six of Cups moment is a great, excellent terminology for this. So if you are familiar with tarot, Six of Cups, and if you're not familiar with tarot, stick around. I'll post them later. All right, let me double check real quick. I just want to make sure. Oh, we do have people buying. So people are buying things. Actually, I actually for referral want a stream deck. I actually do want something. I want a thing so where I can click a bunch of buttons and do a bunch of cool stuff on my stream. Because Venus retrograde wants to remind you what makes you special, right? It's like, Then I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a great astrologer. And I'm like, what other astrologer has this level of production quality that they do themselves? I'm not saying in general. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating on nobody else. I said that they do themselves. You know what I'm saying? I be getting hired to do other stuff for other people sometime. You know what I'm saying? Like, what y'all know? When the artist decides to astrologize for a living, But what if you and your, I'm guessing, significant partner, Venus is an aqua. Okay, let me go through this real quick. Actually, let me just talk about Venus in general in terms of Venus retrograde, because I think that's something important. So I know people are asking, I have Venus here. What does Venus in retrograde mean for me, right? Do you know your Venus? Like this is something that I really want to put out. Like, do you know your Venus? Because learning your Venus is an act of understanding what you like. I'm not trying to get super raunchy here because, hey y'all, did you just start? I have been on for the last 33 minutes. So if you go back that amount, someone said Ascended Master earlier too, so shout out. But if you go back to 33 minutes from now, that's the beginning of it. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, okay. Back to Venus one more time, sorry. Venus again is one of those situations to where knowing your Venus is, again, so important, right? I have a Venus masterclass. I'm going to drop it over here one more time. Venus masterclass. I spelled that so wrong. Such a shame. Okay, that's my face. I'm live right now, believe it or not. I almost accidentally subscribed to myself. That was weird. Okay. I mean, you should subscribe if you haven't. I just realized y'all can't see what I'm doing right now. Okay, it's better. All right, so blah, 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 blah. Click. Who are you? Why are you hijacking my screen time? I don't know you. Stop. I don't know you either. Anyway, this is the Venus masterclass. Part of things. I swear, like when I say stuff like that, that is actually what's happening in my head as I do that. I appreciate y'all appreciating the animation. But yeah, so that's my Venus masterclass. So before we even say how is Venus going to be impacted by that, I have everything else. Learn your Venus. I don't have ads right now on I don't do ads when I'm live. I have ads afterward. Why do I have ads? If every single person that ever joins any of my YouTube stuff, if I get a singular dollar for every view I've ever done, I would never run an ad again. You know what I'm saying? But this is like, honestly, all the ad revenue that I ever get on YouTube goes directly back into like those things. Like I said, I want to get a stream deck, so add that. It always goes back into the channel, back into me implementing more stuff within the newsletter. So just to kind of give you some context, like that's usually what I do like these things for. My mini readings though, I want food sometimes. So I'm gonna be honest, like mini reading, maybe not. But for the actual readings and the stuff like that, in terms of the ads, I definitely end up like squaring those over back into the channel. So just to give you some context, and I have big ideas, but I'll be working, and stuff. Is the mini reading only a card pull or is it astral too? So the mini reading today is going to be a card pull. If I'm doing something live, I particularly like card pulls. I don't like reading other people's astrology live. It's a very sacred thing. I don't like mentioning like a bunch of people's like stuff for no reason unless we're in a container that allows that. But this is YouTube and the general internet. So I also want to make sure that like, if someone is dealing with something more critical or serious, we can address that with one another versus me being like, hey, world. Like, that's the way I think about it, if that makes any sense. I hope that helps. When you say learn your Venus, I don't think it's about what sign your Venus in. It's also the house too. Thank you so much. Actually, that's my challenge. If you really want a challenge, learn what house your Venus is in. That's my biggest challenge. You don't know how to do that? I think I'll talk about it in the Venus class. You don't know where your houses are? Check out my Astrology 101 masterclass. I'll tell you about how the houses work. So it's really cool to be like, hey, I have resources for these things. It's all here. But but genuinely speaking, like, I'll put it like this. Some people think I'm pretty, and I appreciate them for it. But like the reason why there's like an acceptance, so to speak, or like why you can't, how do I put this? Like you can't buy swagger, you can't buy confidence, you can't buy like things that like, you can't buy mojo. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't really like, that's something that has to come from you innately, right? Why y'all giving me money? I don't even know what currency that is, but thank you so much for pulling through. Yo, that's awesome. I love my international folk, by the way. Like, shout out to y'all. Like, who would have thought this kid from the middle of nowhere, USA, would be reaching internationally? Nah, but for real, thank you so much. Shout out to you. And this O'Hara, I hope I don't mess that up. Oh wait, is it DSR? You. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, you do have a lot of resources. Love it. I do my best. Like, obviously, I do my readings too. Readings are the best resource. If you want to just like, I leave people dumbfounded sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I did, like, there was somebody that hit me up. It was like months later. They're like, hey, yo. I was like, what's up? They're like, I'm not gonna lie. I love the reading you did for me, and I listen to it all the time. But it was too good, and it took me a long time to come back to you and let you know. And I was like, oh, thanks. You know what I'm saying? It's really like, I just love the art of this, so shout out to that. Anyway, Venus, learning your Venus. That's where you get your mojo, right? Because if you try to copy somebody else's mojo, it's not going to work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you try to like, okay, ready? I'm a conversationalist. I'm a great presenter, and I'm a hoot to have around. But in my heart of hearts, I'm an introvert. I love the collective. I don't like every person all the time. I'm not a people person by nature. I love people who I love, and I love them deeply and dearly. Can you guess what my Venus is? I love them deeply and dearly, and they're like family to me unless they mess that up. But for real, like, these are people I ride out for. You know what I'm saying? And so like, but knowing where people aren't able to mesh with your Venus and knowing where to let that go, right? Some people may not be able to take the intensity of your Venus. Whereas maybe, let's say like you are a people person, you love people. You always out and about. You ain't never been home at one time, right? Now, if you have a Venus that conflicts with someone's actions, let's not even get astrological. If you have a Venus that conflicts with somebody's actions, that's going to lead you to want to do something else or to go somewhere different, right? Unfortunately, in the one case of literally Venus being in a situation where she was stuck in where she didn't want to be, she was married off to Hephaestus as a favor. And then she ended up smashing with Aries the whole time, right? Shout out to D. Cooper, you are correct. But the idea, though, when it comes to the idea of like the Venus portion and knowing your Venus, that gives you an understanding of what's going on. Like when you know the process that your Venus goes through, shoot, if you knew why you got crushes on people through the Venus, you have a different understanding of that, right? You'll be like, oh, it's not that necessarily everyone has a type, but everyone has an energetic type, and that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. I don't think everyone has a physical type. We do have energetic types, and that's a fact. I will get into that at some point soon. I have been restoring a relationship with a older app that I was working with, slowly but surely. If you were around for that, you know what I'm talking about. We are coming to a different space. We have talked about it in length. I will be telling you more about it as I have more to tell you about it. But just keep that in mind. You know, it's an interesting thing to work on during Venus retrograde, I will say. Okay. You knew it was a water sign? How you know it was a water sign? Stop. Yeah. I'm a fool sometimes, man. I be working really hard during the week, though. I ain't gonna lie. This is my like time. You know what I'm saying? I'll be working OD. I don't have days off for real. It's kind of concerning sometimes, but that's okay. Come make it less of a day off and come get a reading. I really love doing them like so much. I'm not gonna lie. Is my energetic type wounded men because I ... So listen, actually, you have a really good point. You want to know what Venus don't put up with during Venus retrograde? A wounded man's feelings. Oh, brother. Oh boy, right? Yo, Venus. The video game format reading you did was so cool. I feel like that's something that's always in the back of my stuff. I appreciate you bringing that up, actually. Because like I started writing something from one philosophy after this. Let's talk about the wounded men. I'll get into the philosophy. I'm gonna pull cards. That's what we're gonna do. Okay. Because I started having too much fun. I'm like, oh wait, no, we've been yapping too long. Let's get back to the plot. All right. Okay. So when it gets back to the wounded men portion of things, right? I'm going to tell you this as straightforward as I can, and I don't even want to mince my words on this, right? There are some men who love women, and there are some men who like what women can do. When you sit there and see what kind of man that is first, that's where you can take it from. And I'm telling you this in the most straightforward way I can with this Venus retrograde, right? Because this is indeed the plot. You are correct. Because like I didn't notice this, and I didn't notice this connects truly until I've like in the last couple years. I'm gonna be so honest with you. Like it took me being grown and being around even more grown men where I'm like, oh shoot. Like when I'm younger, there's this big like they think this like mysterious, like, oh, if a person's older, that means they have more steez and charisma and skill and whatever. And like, you know, that gets pervaded through like media and all this other stuff, right? But then I'm like, oh shoot, like some of y'all really goofy out here for real. Like not believing in astrology aside, some of y'all just suck. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. Some of them do believe in astrology, and they suck too. So the reason why I'm mentioning this, right? The reason why I'm bringing this into this part is because it's like, again, like the men or the divine masculine that love women for women appreciate the feminine, right? I'm not going to sit here and be on some like, right? But it's like, I've never like sat there and seeing like a woman cry and be like, there's no way you should ever do that. I like that. I'm not saying that that's something that like everyone does. That doesn't exist in me. Like, cry it out, live it up, feel that shit through, right? Some other people are like, yo, stop, you know, and we've seen the dichotomy of this, like on time and time again. I don't even gotta start giving you examples. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Go on anything on social media after this. I'm sure you'll just find something, right? So the idea behind this is that it's like, do you find wounded men? Maybe. But you really have to, and this is my thought process, because Venus retrograde in Aries is like sometimes when it comes to wounded men, like Venus and Aries, like, I'm going to engulf them, right? Like Venus is like, you think this is too much? Let me show you what too much is. You know what I'm saying? There's some freaky deaky people out here in the world, and there's some scared men who are willing to get scared. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on with that. But the idea, sometimes I hear the things I say. It's funny. But the reason why I'm even explaining this is like, we're getting to this point with Venus retrograde. At the end of the day, we take everything out, we take it back. What do you like? Do you like wounded men? No. That gives you a different litmus. So during this 40 days, you'll be like, no, I don't want those wounded men. Why would I want that? Right? In those 40 days too, you'll be like, wait a second. They're not just wounded men. I'm wounded too. But where? But how? And as soon as you start to really develop that change, that's when we actually magnetize the things that we want, the people that we want. You know what I'm saying? Right? I remember one day I was feeling insecure. Then SZA liked my tweet. No, it wasn't my tweet. SZA liked my Instagram post. And ever since then, I was like, y'all can't tell me nothing ever again. Never. I'm beautiful. What? SZA liked my post? Y'all can't tell me nothing. All the stars are all the stars are okay. I'm gonna start pulling stuff. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. I fear if I keep speaking now, I will lose the other plot. All right. Love the Substack post about Venus retrograde, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been trying to get, like I said, I'm a little bit more on the like, I need some artfulness in my life somewhere. So if I gotta just like put a little bit oomph into my newsletter just to let people understand, cool. Get scared of the intensity of the divine feminine. Yeah. I'm different though. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Y'all do that. Turn up. I just, that's me. I can't speak to everybody. Okay. Ooh. We had a card just fly out, right? First thing that I want to talk about with Venus retrograde, I do want to mention something though. For some people, y'all are about to enter this different type of stage of rest. I'm gonna try to do this smoothly, but it won't work. I knew it wouldn't work, but that's okay. We had the King of Wands hop out. And the King of Wands is literally the pioneer of passion. The pioneer of passion. The guy that may have a lot of the ladies, but he's like, no, I want this one, right? Like there's a strong, keen, fiery ability that the King of Wands is able to do, because whatever he dreams of, he's able to execute like next day. Difficult takes a day, impossible takes a week when it comes to the King of Wands. And with this resting position, this is kind of like, I honestly see this for a lot of y'all, like kind of like getting more, like the more internal work that you're doing in your rest, the more likelihood the quote unquote knight in shining armor may pop up. I'm gonna pull one more thing for that, because I don't, where are you going with this cards during this new moon in Pisces? What's happening here? Okay. All right. So this is the story. Okay. It took me a second, my bad. Had to tap in. All right. So we have the 8 of Swords. I think one thing about this Venus retrograde is that like people are really going to be thinking that they're not worthy of love, or they're not capable of finding the one. I got y'all. Okay. Got it. So the King of Wands is an idea of like a passionate person or divine masculine who may come through. And this can also work vice versa, by the way. This is not necessarily This isn't gender exclusive by any means. This is just like yin and yang, push and pull. That's it. We're really going to break it down, right? So the push that's coming out, the Ace of Swords, I think if you really take your time out to like actually put like there's something about surrender that's said to this too, right? Something about surrender, like she's just like letting herself go into the knowledge. All my cards are hopping right now. Literally everything's hopping up. So what I find really interesting, here's the other side of this, right? Oh, this is crazy. Okay, on the other side of this, Venus retrograde, right? We have the Queen of Cups and the Devil card. If you have been feeling like you haven't been able to actually express the divine feminine nature that you have, this might be your sign to get it going, get out. Just dip out, right? This is like Venus retrograde refuses for you to like not follow what you enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Like down to the point where it's like, if you've been in like a loveless thing for a really long time, that's a conversation to have, at least a conversation to have. Like that's what Venus retrograde really brings through. And here's what's happening. A lot of those things are clearing out. Like a lot of the relationship karma in the collective is clearing out truly. Like this is a real like back and forth between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Like this is Venus and Mars meeting to talk after knowing that they did Hephaestus dirty for a long time and being like, all right, what do we do from here? Because here's the different parts of things, right? The new stage that's opening up when Venus goes direct is, how do you build your road back to heaven? How do you build your way back up to like your knowledge and understanding? Like this is an unearthing of self and you being able to actually define that based off of what you love and enjoy. The Hierophant is the one card that can feel the love of the Lord, of the universe, of nature, and really bring in the lessons that comes from it. So I think on a collective level, if you're willing to put in the work as to what it is that you find that you love, if you're willing to step away from those things that have been seemingly and you know are toxic, and if your friend would go do that, you would cuss them out, and you're doing the same thing, calls coming from inside the house. Ring, ring. Okay, so that's the collective one. Wow, we're on it today. I'm gonna do a little bit more like a rapid fire pace for this. Oh, and you said, whoa, you want to know what's funny? This is what happens when I like actually like let myself rest, funnily enough. I'll be so like overdone. I'm like, oh, let me chill. You know, today my only thing was to see y'all today. That was really what I had in mind. So that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? Woke up early, got some things moved around, you know what I'm saying? Pulled up. Let's get it popping. All right. Bam, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, bam. The type of shit you wouldn't understand. Boom, bop, business. I cannot be. Hit him with that can. Damn. All right. I'll stop. Shout out to Kendrick for real. I was so happy that he dropped during Sag season. Y'all have no idea. Kendrick Lamar dropping the first day of Sag season changed my life. Ah, such a great way to enter the next. Ah, it's beautiful. Okay. It's for Aries. I got that. I got that vibe. Aries, Venus retrograde. I'm gonna go in order today. I'm just gonna go in order. Yeah, I'm gonna go in order today. Why not? Let's be regular for once, right? It's also getting a little bit dark. I have artist OCD, and I must be beautiful in terms of this because I paid a lot of money to make sure things look good. So let's continue that trend. Thanks, guys. All right, Aries, getting into this. We're going in order. All of these card pulls I'm doing are mainly for your rising sign. I want to point this out. They're mainly for your rising sign. If you don't know your rising sign, sun and moon. If you want to do your sun, moon, and rising, you have cracked the code. If you want to do one more thing to add on a little extra credit, listen to your Venus as well. I would primarily listen to your rising sign and Venus for these energetic card pulls. I hope that gives you a little bit more context. It is approximately 55 minutes into this live stream when the stuff starts. So if you want to yell at me about timestamps, if anyone ever yells at me about timestamps, I'm just not posting them. If I remember, I'll definitely got y'all though. You know what I'm saying? Kindness pays forward to everybody, from me to y'all to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. I'm a very generous guy, but I ain't no bitch. So let's make sure that we know that. Now that I've addressed this in a very Venus retrograde way, let's break this down, right? So Aries rising, Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. Aries, this is you making your like Aries rising. You are the Knight of, you are the hopping Knight of Pentacles here, and this is the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight is like, hey man, I know you's the Queen, and I'm just the Knight right now, but I'm trying to shoot my shot for real. Like, what's good with you? You know what I'm saying? The main thing I want to point out with this is that Aries, whatever you're investing in is leading to real abundance. So don't give up on the courting side of things, I would say. This is almost like, when I say like the courting side of things, one of the biggest things about people staying in love is that you have to continuously date the person even when you're already with them. Like, you haven't fully won the battle. It's like you have, but you have to continuously make sure that they feel loved, etc. That's the whole idea. Does that happen a lot? No. Do we strive for it? Of course. No. Or you should, if not. So, you know. Queen of Pentacles. This is like the outcome, Aries, of like what's going through with this Venus retrograde. So it's like you're stepping into this, like, I have an idea. And if you take this next 40 days, it applies to moon and rising as well. Yes. If you take this for the next 40 days and like keep these things rolling, you're going to, like, on the other side of this Aries rising, be what you aimed for. So like, this is like inserting your coin and then you press start at the end of Venus retrograde in Aries. Someone said they liked my arcade and comic and video game references, so I add them in there too. I got some pop culture ones too. I got some stuff. I'll be watching things. I'll be paying attention. I would have been a comedian, but they don't know how to slay, and I can't be one of those guys. All right. So anyway, get it back. You got to fall out of love, you had to fall out of love to grow in love. Can we get the snaps out? Facts. Okay. Taurus rising, Venus, Sun or Moon. What you rocking with, right? Taurus. So kind of similar to, I think one of these is like as we enter, and one of these are like the outcome sort of. So I'm gonna explain it as that pops through. Taurus, Page of Wands, right? Queen of Swords. You're stepping into this thing being kind of like excitable, but a little cheeky about it. Like, oh, like I would love to do something like this. Oh, it'd be really cool. Meanwhile, at the end of this, you starting off from that energy and whatever it is that you do, if it's a relationship, if it's a business, if it's money, something related, cool. By the time you're walking out of it, I understand it now. It becomes your mantra. The Queen of Swords is like, nah, I get it. I understand. I downloaded the information. I seen it for what it is. The Page of Wands, though, Taurus is trying to tell y'all to like go see it for yourself. So if it's something where people are like, yo, we had this huge opportunity, and they're like, oh, well, you can shadow for a day, but you don't have to do that. It's not mandatory. Go shadow for that day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's this like need to like be more curious and explore. And as the more curious you are, Taurus, the better off it's going to be. Gemini, I got something for Gemini. Y'all going through it. Why y'all, man, the Kendrick run just ran off. Gemini, y'all was doing great. Gemini was coming through. Gemini got hit with that Jupiter and Gemini said, right? But here's the change that I want to point out. This isn't just like a L Gemini. This is a dark night of the soul. This is like this 40 days and 40 nights gonna feel like you at the top of that mountain trying to take the commandments down your damn self. Like, man, why I gotta do it? I don't know, Mr. Master of Words. I don't know, Mistress of marvelous articulations. I can't even do it, but you could. That's what I'm talking about. Here's the thing. Gemini, y'all are going to a dark night of the soul because y'all have forgotten that the duality that exists within you is what makes things beautiful. I think like Gemini is like literally dark and light. You know what I'm saying? They got both. They have that, and it's not that it's outside of everybody else. It's part of the real human experience. Word. So Gemini, y'all might be going through it in terms of like this, like energetically on an emotional tip. But the other side to this, and what makes this a power move for y'all, is that when you remember the harmony that exists when you let both sides like do their thing, that's what's going to actually move you through by the end of this Venus retrograde. So it's going to be some back and forth stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're going to sound like a Kendrick album between one album being like, and the next song being like, I deserve it all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, cool. Next one, Cancer rising, Cancer sun, moon, or whatever you want to do. Wow. It's a party to remember. I'm not gonna hit you with no falsetto. I'm a baritone like a mug. I used to be able to pretend like I was a tenor. I'm grown. We are bass to baritone now. This is what it is. But what I can say, right? This is all right for Cancer. First of all, y'all need to slow down. Stop it. Stop doing stuff. You're doing too much. I think that's one thing that's really coming through with the Cancer energy. As soon as I got this, I'm just like, if y'all don't sit your silly selves down, like I think like what happens with Cancer a lot of the time is that it's like you do know if you build the home, they come to it. But if you step into someone's home trying to fix stuff, they're gonna be pissed at you. So the main thing when it gets to like this Cancer rising energetic that I'm really feeling with this is that it's like you need to take a rest on trying to like show up for other people a certain way because you already have everything you need. And as a matter of fact, it's Venus retrograde Aries, or it's Venus retrograde in Aries Cancer. There we go. It is going to be really showing you this new sense of like harmony. I think you're going to really start realizing that like, hey, like the beauty that I've existed in always existed from me or in me first. And that's where it really stems from. So Cancer, I feel like this is a really cool invitation to stop trying to get other people's opinions or emotions or feelings for you and define it as yourself. And you defining yourself as you step back into there, and then them wanting to be more a part of your authenticity as you start to learn how to emotionally navigate the things that were tougher to say before. Can't stop, won't stop. All right. Leo. All right, Leo. I've watched way too much Yu-Gi-Oh growing up. All right, so what I think is happening for y'all, Leo. Here we go. Leo, y'all have cracked the code a little bit. Y'all, I think y'all were really going through it for a hot minute because you're like, who am I? And like everyone was demanding stuff from you like a few months back. Right now, this is like, oh, I have the opportunity to actually make like my dream thing. What? Right? Leo may be the star, but Leo's typically like forced to be the star of the story and other people's story. If you resonate to that, please leave a like on that. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's like they're the star of the story and other people's stories, not always their own. For this one, Leo, they're like, no. We want to know more about you, right? They're like, Leo, this is like them hiring you for like, you think you're doing a movie, you're putting on a performance. You're like, oh, I just got hired on for a documentary. And it's like, psych, this documentary about you, what you got to say? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference in terms of this. And guess what? Oh no, there are documentaries about me. Well, I thought it was for someone else. You still gonna have to put in the same work. And guess what? Isn't it weird? You don't have to like research yourself for a role. That's what this energy is giving, Leo. Are you researching yourself for your own role? And Williams, what's good? She said, I'm new to your channel. I'm loving the vibe. This has been 6 years amalgamation of a young Black man trying to get it. I appreciate you being here. You showed up at the best time because this is the most current time in present moment. So thank you for being here. Appreciate you. I'm glad that you're enjoying the vibe. I try to bring some more fun and inclusivity into astrology the best I can, just by showing up because like I just rock with y'all. How many people in here right now? Actually, I don't have the number in front of me. Can I see how many people are in here? I don't know. You want to know what? We have enough people to fill a room with love. And that's what matters. All right. So yeah, did the Leo rising? Cool. So I'm on Virgo. Yes. So let's go to Virgo. Virgo, ho. Let's get it. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. Oh, my shit. Things are falling out. I'm saying their name too loud. Got upset. Okay. 33. Ooh, that's a good number. All right. Virgo, y'all about to get some cutty. Y'all about to get some canooter. Y'all about to have some fun. Y'all about to get some inappropriate things done, because we have the Lover's card and the Wheel of Fortune. Virgo, if you haven't gotten laid, now is your time. All jokes aside, I'm dead ass. Like there is like a really like actual true element to this. And what's really happening, Virgo, is that it's like, Virgo, y'all be so focused on such material things that now is, or like, even I've seen so many Virgos like pick partners they can control versus partners they can love. And I hope that that's not the case for everybody here, or if that is the case, because Virgo, this is like, this isn't a project, Virgo. Whatever is coming in right now isn't a project. It's not like oh, I like them, but they have to like totally change everything about them and then I love them. We're not doing that, Virgo. Actually, to your surprise, they're going to be doing that to you. To your surprise, they're going to be like, I don't like the way you put your cup down. You be like, all right. Virgo, you're going to come through and start potentially canoodling with somebody more persnickety than you. Congratulations. and if it's not a romantic involvement, right? If it's not a romantic involvement, it's still like, hey, you thought you were the king of this persnickety stuff? You thought that you had opinions and thoughts? My thoughts and opinions stronger. But ironically, that's going to give you some more luck, because like, for every Virgo think they know it all. I'm a Sag, and I can say like, I could vibe it all, right? Virgos gonna know it all. You know what I'm saying? For real. Like tangibly. They're like, no, this ion is in the incorrect place. Like, things happen, bro. Right? As a Virgo moon during this no change is giving, letting go, and embracing surrender. How'd you know? Because I know, Ellen. You know, Ellen, you've been knowing me for years, bro. Ellen, even you knew me when I wasn't even fully doing this fully yet, for real. And I was still knowing that. I was just trying to make art and take pretty pictures. That's all I wanted to do. Virgo South Node, I used to know it all. Then as a Pisces North Node, your objective is to feel it all and let it define itself. Man, y'all need to get a reading. What y'all doing? If y'all here, y'all haven't gotten a reading, I haven't changed it from the 150 price because I'm lazy. Just kidding. I just have a lot of things I'm doing. This is, you know what I'm saying? Pull up. I'm telling you, as a I don't care. You're wrong. I fought my Virgo defenses for many a year. I love y'all, but I got y'all. I know how y'all feel about Sagittarius. I know y'all secretly love us. It's okay. Y'all wish y'all could be this free about it though. We got you though. We got you. We'll say it for you. No worries. Nah, I love y'all for real. All right, let's get it. Let's get to Libra. All right, Libra. It looks like you don't know what to do. And it also looks like you're still not gonna know what to do. I hate to tell y'all this, Libra. There is this like huge part of like indecision. It's like the things that are truly decisive in your life are like stone now. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you've been building that you've been like, I want to make sure this is stable and stone is stone. Everything else though. What color should I wear today? Should I buy this food or the other food? Who should I go on a date with today? Oh, I have, Check out him. Her. Oh, guess what? Oh, you thought that was imagine having 8. Now look at you. A whole roster. A whole roster of potentialities, and you ain't even pick one. How Venus of you. I'm joking about this, but the reason why I'm like so important is because, like, I think Libra, you don't realize how many like other pools of potentiality that you have. So the unfortunate side of this is like, yes, you are literally being seen as like all that you are, all the seeds you planted about wanting to be seen and desired have come true in full. But you start this off being like, oh, I only have like 1 decision, 2 decisions to make. By the end of this, you're like, I didn't realize how abundant I actually was, and I can actually do whatever I want. So take that in mind throughout this. Like, if you think that you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, no, you're not. You're stuck between several, depending on what's going on with y'all. Respectfully, I know how y'all operate. Live your best lives. But yeah, it's cool. Yay. Creatively it resonates. Let's go. All right. So Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. Got you. Let's dig in. Scorpio. You and Libra both confused. Scorpio, you already have your roster together. Or your roster of things that you're trying to do. Well, either way it goes. You know, I like to use these analogies because they're funny, but energetically they are sound. But the reason why I want to point this out is because the 7 of Cups, Scorpio, this is like Scorpio, your power isn't in all the people that you can canoodle with. Scorpio, your power isn't even in all the people you can rub shoulders with. Scorpio, as Frank Ocean once said, never F someone you wouldn't want to be, though. You want to know why? Because in Frank Ocean, a Scorpio, said never want F no one you ever want to be. You never F someone you wouldn't want to be. Want to be clear. Because this is the star card, Scorpio. Flaming Elmo meme, indeed. That is the Flaming Elmo meme is me as a person. Just so that y'all know. If you just throw some astrology in the background and some stars and like a pretty film filter, that's what it is. But what I can't say, right, it's the star card. For Scorpio, y'all are like, Scorpio, y'all are starting to see why y'all are built different. And I think people are going to be asking you about like your opinions on things and how you feel about things. Please be really straightforward with how you feel about things, because that's what's going to be actually having you like really tap in, dig in, want to do more. Like I'm really excited to see what comes through for that for y'all. For real. It's a beautiful thing. We have a new paid subscriber to Under the Stars We Wonder. Shout out to you, Tiffany. Word. It'd be so weird when people are like, I subscribe to your newsletter. I'm like, I write. That's weird. But yeah, Scorpio, you're about to be in a really interesting situation in terms of that. But like, this is just like you knowing your own worth versus trying to give your worth to everybody else in small favors of pleasure. And that's not even like sexually, that's just in general. Okay. Sagittarius. All right. Sag. It's all about you, Sag. When I pulled the cards for you. Okay. So, Dash, gotta tell you something. This Venus retrograde is going to come through and it's going to be like, oh my Lord, what is my life? Like, I want to point this out to you because I don't see this like Sag, where sometimes I see like the Tower card is like an actual happening of things falling through. Sag, this is very mental. Like Sag, this is very cerebral. Like Sag, this is like, you just like what I'm getting from this more so, Sag, for this is like, this is an awakening of like your brain. Like, like you're getting hit with one of those epiphanies, right? And you want to know what this Venus retrograde is about? You can't do it all by yourself, Sag. Ooh. Can't do it all by yourself. Sometimes you're gonna have to need a little somebody to smooth that thing out. So here's really the idea of all this, right? And I think I want to point something out. Venus is about to go retrograde. Have you heard? I throw in one or two things in every stream I do, but it's been a lot more often right now. Venus in retrograde is about to be raunchy. Like I'm not even trying. It's that easy to tap to. And that's the other side to Venus retrograde. Is that Venus is so close to us that we don't have to like try to be a type of way. It's already happening. Anyway. All right, Sag. Boom, big epiphany. Oh man, I needed love. Oh man, I needed people to work with. Oh man, I needed to like, okay, guess what, Sag? This whole Venus retrograde is about opening your heart back up again, right? You keep seeing this grander vision as if it's supposed to be a specific destination, but it's dead ass the friends you meet along the way. It's literally who's coming with you on the adventure that makes the love and beauty and life all worth it. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, that's for Sag. All right, for my Capri Suns, Capricorn. Oh man, we got the Lover's card for Capricorn too. It looks like there's a bunch of canoodling going on here. Yeah. But we did get the Lover's card, and we got this. So similar to Sag, actually, you have your blinders on right now, Capricorn. You think you all locked in? You're like, Venus retrograde, I'm gonna work the whole time. Meanwhile, you're like, oh man, I put off work for a few weeks to fall in love. Oh no, I'm late on my first assignment ever. What's gonna happen? Listen, Cap, I got several of the Sag, to be fair. Sometimes you're gonna need a little somebody. No, but honestly, if like on the realist part, like there is this need to blend with somebody else. And even if that's you just learning how to be around other people, or you like, the hell is that? Anyway, if you like dating like one person and stuff in terms of that, like that's like one of those things. Like Capricorn, open up more to the idea of love, because the other stuff that you're stressing about is actually going to open up through that avenue. I hate to tell y'all that. And I know I say it to y'all sometimes, but like this time I'm super serious. It's letting you know. Okay. All right. Aquarius. Things are changing, my friend, but after this retrograde. Right now, you are dealing with it. Right now, you're like, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Right now, you're like, why has Pluto forsaken us? You know, like there's this like really strong disdain almost. There's a really specific word. It's a really specific like disdain that's coming in right now, Aquarius. Y'all are like, this was supposed to be my era. This is my age. Why do I feel this way? Like it's real. And now granted, on the outside to everybody else, but on the inside, all of that stuff's happening, right? Because here's the thing. You were like, yo, what's the change? I needed. You forgot your own co-ruling planet. You forgot about the other dude that was rocking, helping out with Saturn, with your sign. You forgot Uranus was there, ain't you? You forgot there's a random factor to how this all works, huh? This is what's happening. This is the random factor. Your breakthrough is here. Venus retrograde is going to break you through at the end of it. Not in the beginning. It's going to suck, I'll be honest with you. But towards the end of this 40-day cycle, oh shit, like it's going to like, I don't even know how to make an effect right now that does the same thing I'm trying to aim for, but that's the difference that I see coming through, right? And you have Pluto on your sun and your ascendant. Oh, that's why I had no idea. That's amazing. Congratulations. That's cool. Shout out to you. You mad energetic, yo. That's fire. Okay. Sorry. All that. I just didn't know that. But yeah, Aquarius. So that's a huge part coming through in terms of that. And let me get to Pisces. Then I'm going to take all of 5 seconds to exist. And then I will be back to do more stuff. 1 second. Okay. So, Pisces. Discuss. Pisces, things are happening fast for you too. Okay, but not immediately. After, because first, man, Pisces, y'all actually have a walk through the park in this freaking retrograde, bro. Y'all are fine. Literally, I just pulled that. I was like, oh, Pisces, you're gonna, and I was just like, watch old Disney movies, cry about it, and then sing songs to yourself about it. Or whatever else you do as a Pisces. Come on. And then everything changes to what you have. Pisces, I ain't even worried about y'all. Y'all, I ain't even worried about y'all. Y'all, everyone else is dealing with the ramifications of what's going on in the world. Pisces was like, yo, that happened. That's crazy. Nah, I love y'all Pisces. Yeah, there's a big change coming towards the end of this Venus retrograde though. That's going to like initiate you back. And as a matter of fact, I think it's ending off back in Pisces, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So that's why like you're kind of like chilling. You're low-key just waiting until it goes direct while it's in Pisces, and then everything that you've been aiming for just comes true. So you literally get to meander for 40 days. Congratulations. Y'all have a astrological hall pass again. Neptune is on the North Node, to be fair, and we are having a very, like, we're having the most amount of Pisces energy, like, right now, for real. Let me double check real quick. Because if I do the chart to, let's say, right now, right this second, oh my gosh, where did it go? Where did everything go? Everything I cared for, everything I am. Anyway, how do I show? Hey, there's me. But, when it gets to this, we have all the moon just slipped into Aries just a second ago, but we have like all this stuff in Pisces. So Pisces, y'all are getting the now I do what I want pass when it comes to everything. But yeah, that right there has been a absolute masterclass of Venus retrograde in Aries. Thank y'all for pulling through and letting me Venus and Aries is all back to y'all. I hope that the energetic of this time also got reflected back through me as I was even explaining these things, and I hope that the relations and the connections I was making to all came through and resonated. So much love to y'all. Appreciate you being here. This right now, the chaotic ad lib. Oh yes. But anyway, when it does come to this, right? This is the last call for right now. Peace out, Ann. Much love to you. Appreciate you being here. I love Ann. Ann is like the elder of the chat, straight up. She be here all the time, for real. Shout out. But let's get to the next portion of this, right? And I want to talk about correction. It's the last call for the mini readings, right? If you want a mini reading live, here's the last call. If you really want one afterward, I'm putting the price up afterward. So if you're here for the live, you don't get no ads. If you come here after the live, I have to put the ads. If you here while I'm live and I'm reading it, you gonna get it live. You know what I'm saying? If you pull up afterward, I'm gonna have to put it to its original price. That's the way that I see it. You know what I'm saying? If you show up a little early, you get the paid off. You know what I'm saying? You had me at Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. You know how like I wanted to be as saucy as Yami so bad. I still do. I think I am. I think I'm getting there. I think I'm finding my own way to it, right? I want to be as saucy as Yami so. Come on, hold on. For those of y'all who don't know who I'm talking about, for y'all who don't know who I'm talking about, where's his fit? Man, I still want to be as cool. Man, yo, hold up. I can't fully zoom this one, and I don't want to show y'all something that's incorrect or does something. Well, I don't want Pinterest. Show me the other stuff. That is anyway. They have too many weird fan arts of bro because bro is too saucy. That's bro was so saucy. He can't have a normal flick. Everyone is taking. Matter of fact, can I show this fully? No, it's not letting me. That's fine. Sorry about that, y'all. Sometimes I try to do fun things on a whim and then I forget. That's okay. But yeah, this is essentially, and just in general, right? Where, oh wait, no, messed it up again. That's fine. But the other parts of this, is the live stream's over. Go home if you don't have a mini reading. I'm playing. All right, let's get to the mini readings up for real. I have all y'all open and ready on my queue right now. And last call. If not, we're just going in with this. And then I'm gonna chill. So appreciate this. Let's get it. Bambi, this is your reading. Venus retrograde mini reading. Read intuitively. Let's get it. Whew. All right. Bambi, reading intuitively. Let's see what's popping up. All right. So, at the core of everything that's going on, Bambi, you need to embrace a little bit more of celebration. Even if you're taking an L or if things aren't fully, I think things are going relatively well from what I'm picking up, right? But it's like you need to like celebrate that fact as well, right? And now here's something that I think is really interesting about this whole process, especially when it comes to this Venus retrograde in Aries. The cards that I just pulled kind of show this saga that happens throughout this. So make sure that you keep an open mind through these next 40 days, as this is going to like permeate through. I'm going to show you the end result, right? So the end result of this is the Death card as the metamorphosis of what you wanted to change, fully actually resurrecting itself where it needs to go. That's what I'm getting from this. In the past position, we have you working stupidly hard. Like this looks like so much effort. Whenever I see the Nine of Wands, I'm like, you've been putting in a lot of effort. You've putting in a lot of work. You've been putting in a lot of this. So now you're seeing, wait a second, I've put in so much work. On the other side of this, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many transformations. What's in the middle of this? What's currently happening? You have to walk away in order for that metamorphosis to go on. I don't know what you're walking away from. I don't know if this is a job. I don't know if this is a bad suitor. I don't know what's going on. But like, if you feel the need to like take your mass exodus from something, do that thing. Because that's the only way you're going to make it through on the other side, back to this enjoyment of like all things in life, so to speak, right? Hope this is resonating to you. And I'm not trying to be dramatic about it at all, but it is one of the situations to where it's like, if you walk away from it, that change that occurs for you is going to be so monumental and so guttural and so like, whoo, like, you know what I mean? Like there's this really strong rendition of starting to like fully fall into favor of the universe's will as you just let yourself like tap in that way. So I hope that this gives you a little bit more perspective, that like if you felt like you've been needing to walk away from something, if you've been felt like something hasn't been going the right way, or there's been something like a little like about it, trust your gut. That is my 2 cents on that. Michelle, what's good, Michelle? Good to have you here. You know, Michelle, I know you've been doing your thing with your esthetician. I said it right. I'm gonna just leave it there. Pronunciation. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what's pulling up though, Michelle. It's all about you during your reading time. So, all right, intuitive read. Let's see what's pulling up for you for this Venus retrograde in Aries. I really don't have to smack them too, but I do. Okay. We have the Temperance card, right? Temper your emotions, temper your manners, mind your business. I hope that made like that just came through. Back. Ellen, I got you. Don't worry. So I want to give you that concept. That just came through that way. Whew. Okay, past position. This is you working. You the working professional. You know what I'm saying? You've been getting your Capricorn vibe. You've been putting this work in. Here's something this is actually just something really important. Screw everything else I'm saying, Michelle. Like I've been reading with you and you know me as a person. Cover your eyes about the things that you're doing right now. I'm not saying this again to like point this out. Remember how I said to you when you first were like doing this stuff and you like came in the game and you started like, you started rocking. You know what I'm saying? You were like, I'm knocking this out. You know, everyone loves it. The instructors love me and everything. That's always been a great precedent. And people are still like loving that about you. But I'm going to say this one time for the one time. Cover your eyes when it comes to certain things, because somebody, a hater, and this isn't like a hater that's going to like push you out of your work position, but it's a hater that can push you out of your vibe and your mojo and the path that you're going on already, right? This could be like the first person that you thought was friends with at the program. You're like, oh crap, I didn't know that they've been talking crap about me. Like, I hope this isn't the case, but I want to give you this as an ideology. And that's why when I said at the beginning, and that's why I came through so mind your business, mind your manners, mind your temper, mind all of that, because like you just kind of deadpanning and just continuing on with your business defeats any of the hoopla that they're trying to start up, because it's a tinge of jealousy Like I'm getting that there's a like you've been killing it. There's a tinge of jealousy somewhere from somebody, and like that's what's coming through in terms of that. Like keep your cool when they start tripping, because like it's your serenity that's going to lead you through with better result versus them trying to crash out, right? Okay. Hope that gave you some context. I've been kicking it today. You know what I'm saying? What's cool about working a lot of things where I have to like be more like corporate-y or more technical and markety and stuff like that is that I have more time to riff during times like this, you know, when it was my only way of income, much more stressful. But hey, yeah, cool. So this one is the next one, right? This one we have for Maisha. All right, let's do this for you, right? For Maisha, you don't want no information. Oh, it's just Mimi. I'm sorry. Apologize. Mimi. Sorry. Brain. Work. I will remember this for next time. I was trying to read people's names because I hate pronouncing names wrong. So I've been on that journey recently. I've been talking about this all the time. I did this in real life the other day. Man, I did it to their face in front of everybody at a meeting too. I apologize. But I was like, man, it's just not good. I know everyone's energy like I know you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even be saying the names of the people I care about all the time. You know what I'm saying? We're just vibing. We're all just here. I'm sorry about that, Mimi. All right, let's get into this stuff. Mimi, this is for you. Let's dig into it. Okay. So, first and foremost, we have the Fool card. This is good. I love when we get the Fool card because we either get to act a fool or there's a reason why we started acting a fool to begin with, right? And one thing that I want to kind of point out with this Mimi, right? In its past position, this is the card that is crying over spilt milk. Now, granted, that milk was expensive. Have you seen the price of these milk cartons? Genuinely speaking, though, all jokes aside, this is you really having to like emotionally like go through partial loss while also understanding what part of gain also came onto you in this process, right? And here's the thing that's really happening for you, Mimi. You have the chance to plant this. This is a very Jack and the Beanstalk type of like thing that you're about to plant into the world. A very Jack and the Beanstalk kind of thing. Why am I saying it this way? Because like whatever you intend throughout this Venus retrograde, if you can intend something, if there's something that really comes to your heart in the course of this next 40 days, and once you know or feel what it is, you stay consistent about it. On the other side of that, you master it. Like you have a really weird chance right now in your life to like master something in almost 40 days. And it has to do with some of the loss that you felt from before, right? You just quit your job and you're jumping in both feet starting your business. Okay. Spilt milk, right? This is why, this is why I don't like asking too much stuff beforehand. I just want to read off the energy. But beforehand, oh no, you ended up quitting. It's a sour feeling. It's like, oh, I have some benefits. I get to work on, those back and forth. Now, what's this? The freaking beanstalk to start your own business. The Fool card, this is brand new. And by the time, as a matter of fact, 40 days, business plan. If you really get your business together in the next 40 days, on a like end-to-end basis, best you can. Like it's something I wish I did at the very beginning, like a real like, hey, this is an introductory and this is the closing process. And you even if it's outside of your realm of things, if you learn how to do that during these next 40 days, unstoppable. Congratulations on quitting your job. Get it popping. Dope. Okay. I love that. That was a good feel. All right, let me. Okay. Oh, we got two more. No, one more. Ellen, this for you, yo. I know you've been waiting. You already know. Yeah, I know your sun, moon, and rising. What else? All right. The Lover's card has found you. Okay, Ellen. Lover's card I found. What's up? And I need to know about how this connection moves forward and advice from my end. You said that the first initial is D. And if he's not there to bring it to you, I'm saying still. I'm sorry. You know I'm a goofball. All right, let's get into this though. All right, Ellen, what's going on with the Lovers card I found you? And what is it? How does it pertain to Venus retrograde? What's the story that's pulling up with this? Your love is okay, so the Chariot card, right? Old boy is coming through piping hot. Man said, I am here. Man just trying to pull out the stops. It seems as though man really does appreciate you on a more like emotive level, right? Oh, Ellen, you're doing that friggin' thing you do, Ellen. I can say this because we're friends and you're my birthday twin. You're doing that friggin' thing that you do every time. You're like, oh, I feel joy and genuine happiness and I can't wait to canoodle with them forever. And then you're like, what is this despair? Ellen, bro, they rock with you. Let's just start there. They like you. They're there because they like you. Okay, this is the first part, right? I'm only dragging you a little bit. This is out of love, and you know it. The other side to this, right? You've been over here prepping up and working and trying to become this perfect thing for somebody else, like this made up figure in your head of what you're supposed to do. And that's what's been throwing you off because you're like, I haven't finished making this part of me. And I know how we are as a Sagittarius, right? I haven't gotten there yet. How can people appreciate this? I haven't gotten there yet, right? Nah, bro. Ace of Pentacles. This is like go for that thing. Like this isn't something. If I'm being so real with you, Ellen, that is like the mechanism in terms of like just me being your homie. That's been like kind of like the mechanism that sometimes happens when things don't go further than you think. It's because it's like that one part happens, but this is like an abundant next step. And I don't want you to like take the things that happened before and be like, this is the pattern. This is the pattern. This is the pattern, right? I know how this is, right? So it's like, it's not like, oh, it's not a pattern. Like, no, this is something that is a different thing, right? They do actually want to know more about you than the other parts of things. So like the Ace of Pentacles, who's really speaking, is like building something good. You know what I'm saying? Like having plans even for the future. Like even if you're planning stuff for the summer, low key, that's my small hack for you. Early summer, May, maybe, like planning some stuff out. There's a vibe that's coming in with that. And like the Lover's card did find you, like you said. So don't push the Lover's card away. And yes, you are worthy of love. And that's really important for you to know, not just as your friend, not just as your astrologer, just in general, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that gives you a little bit more context into everything. And yeah, cool. I have nothing else to offer for today. Today I offer you nothing. Not playing. I appreciate all of y'all for real being here, and for whoever's still in here too, shout out to y'all. I couldn't see the numbers in terms of who was popping up, but I know that y'all came through. Make sure y'all leave the like if you haven't yet. And aside from that, just like much love to everybody. Thank y'all for being here. If y'all need any more support, just feel free to reach out to me. If you want to get something specific in terms of reading and you're unsure, just reach out to me. Let me know and we can get something set up. So yeah, much love to you all. I'm going to go do stuff with my day or not. Who knows? Okay, bye.